Hi, my name is Video. Since now there is a Chinese virus, so the face-to-face interview is cancelled. Now I just do a video for the 15 minutes demonstration teaching the zero product property to solve quadratic equation. Alright, now let's start. I do not have a projector since now all the school is closed, so I have no access to the projector. I just printed out my digital notes on paper, and then we do the teaching on the paper. There are 2 pages. Okay, let's begin. First, the first time, my name is Video. This is using zero product property to solve quadratic equation. Zero product property, that means if fg equals 0, then either f equals 0 or g equals 0 or both. This allows us to factor a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation written as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We factor that to find the x value. So a quadratic basically has 3 terms. Second power ax squared, first power bx, then constant c. We follow 3 steps of vertical, diagonal, and horizontal to get the x value by the zero product property. So vertical, the first step I marked as orange color. Then diagonal, second step I marked as green color in the following. Then third step, horizontal, I mark that as blue color. Usually my notes use 3 colors. Brown color, that usually that's the problem or assignment. Then green color, that is the math information we need to know, but do not need to write on paper. Then the third one is the blue color. Blue color is the solution that the students need to write on paper to get the points. Alright, now for this specific problem of zero product property, we use, as I mentioned just now, use 3 steps, also 3 colors mentioned here. Alright, now we begin with a simple example to solve x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So the first step, to factor this, we will use 2 columns. Then left column, that's a combination of the coefficient of second power, that's 1, 1. That's the only combination x squared have. So you see here, orange color, 1 times 1 equals 1. Okay? Then right column, 6 combination will be -2 and -3. Then you observe -2 times -3 equals 6. This is vertical, right? So the column is vertical, that is in this orange color. That's the first step. Now we say our combination makes that first step finished. Now we move to the second step. Diagonal, that means the cross product of the 2 columns adding up will equals the coefficient of first power. Now we say whether that is true. So green color, second step, the diagonal will be 1 times negative 3 plus 1 times negative 2. That equals negative 5, right? Negative 3 and negative 2, that's negative 5. Now we say the cross product adding up equals negative 5, which is coefficient of the first power. That means our second step, diagonal green color, that is done. Now we move to the third step. Now we have two columns. Then each row of the two columns, because row that's horizontal, right? So each row give us one factor. So the first row will be the first factor will be x minus 2. Is negative sign here. Then the second row will give us the second factor, which is x minus 3. Of course, this is equal 0. Now we set each factor or parenthesis equals 0. We will have x1 equals 2, x2 equals 3. This is the solution for this problem, blue color. So the first step, second step, orange color, green color, the students may just do that on their scratch paper and do not need to write down the examination paper. The same they need to write on the examination paper is just the blue color or the third step here, horizontal. All right. Okay, now let's go to the second page. Also, the last page. So after the simple example, we move to a more complex one. This is solve 14x squared minus 3x minus 27 equals 0. We follow these three steps mentioned before. So we'll do that two columns. Then we will say first step, orange color, vertical, right? So combination of 14 will be 2 and 7. Well, some people may wonder there is another one which is 1 and 14, but 1 and 14, if you try the steps we did just now, 1 and 14 does not work. All right. So we found the combination for 14, coefficient of second power should be 2 and 7. Then the combination for the constant, negative 27 should be negative 3 and 9. Right? So now we observe whether it works for the first step, orange color. Now vertical, 2 times 7 equal 14. Then negative 3 times 9, that's negative 7 equals this constant. So vertical part, or the first step, that is done. Now the second step, green color, diagonal. So we will find whether the cross product adding up equals negative 3 or not. So 2 times 9, green color, 2 times 9 plus 7 times negative 3, diagonal, right? That is 18 minus 21, that is negative 3. This is exactly negative 3 here, coefficient of the first power. That means the second step, green color, diagonal, that is done. Now we move to the third step, blue color. Now each row, horizontal, right? Each row give us one factor. So the first row give us first factor, which will be 2x minus 3. Then second row will give us second factor, will be 7x plus 9. Of course, this equals 0. And naturally, I want to say 2 and 7 here, left column, that symbolize x. So you set each parenthesis to 0. We should have x1 equals 3 over 2 and x2 equals negative 9/7. So you see, after we follow these 3 steps of vertical orange color, diagonal green color, and then third step blue color, then this problem is done. Any questions on this? If in classroom, next one I would ask the class to solve 3x squared minus 4x minus 7 equals 0. Everyone of class do this. But now, since this Chinese virus, students no longer come to the classroom. I want to say this should last for years, because usually it takes 8 years for a new effective medicine or treatment come into being. All right. So we should be doing online course for quite some years. Now, when I do my video, I would ask my class, after we finish 3, I would ask my class to pause the video and do number 4, okay, on their own at home. After they finish number 4, then they continue the video. Now the following video will tell how to do number 4. All right. Suppose my class pause the video and finish number 4, or still cannot finish number 4, still have number 4. Number 4, we do this basically the same way as before. So first step, orange color, vertical. Combination of 3 only have 1, it's 1, 3, and then combination of 7, actually also only 1 combination, 1 and negative 7. So here we check whether the first step is done. So 1 times 3, that equals 3. That's coefficient of second power. Then here 1 times negative 7, that equals this constant, negative 7. That means the first step, vertical, orange color is done. Now we move to the second step, diagonal, green color. Okay, now 1 times negative 7 plus 3 times 1. So 1 times 3 plus, this green color is here. 1 times negative 7 plus 3 times 1 adding up, that is negative 4. So negative 4 is exactly negative 4 here, coefficient of first power. This means the second step, diagonal, green color, that is done. Now, the third step, horizontal, blue color. So here, each row gives us one factor. The first row gives us the first factor, which is x plus 1. The second row gives us second factor, which is 3x minus 7, because here there is minus sign. All right. Of course, this equals 0. Now we set each parenthesis or factor to 0. We should have x1 equals negative 1, and then x2, that equals 3/7. That is how we use zero product property to solve quadratic equation. I know factoring will take some time, also experience. That's not easy, I know that. But the principle to factor, basically that's the 3 steps I mentioned above. 3 directions, vertical, diagonal, and horizontal. And only for the examination, the first 2 steps, orange color, green color, is just on the student's scratch paper. Do not need to turn in. The one they need to write on the examination paper to get the points is just the third step, horizontal, blue color. So some teacher has said that if you can factor, you can do everything. That may be a little bit overstated. but I want to say factoring is truly important. Alright? So this is about my 15 minutes lecture on zero product property to solve quadratic equation. Now, I think I have 1 more minute. Today's date, March 19th, 2020, Thursday. Thank you.